Hello viewers, you're welcome to Generational Voice. This is your biggest #1 platform that is offering you the opportunity to become the voice that will speak for someone's challenge and become the answer to the problems that Africa is facing. Most of the time, we all know that those who are affected by our actions and inactions do not get the opportunity to speak. That is why God has blessed us with Generational Voice so that we can amplify the voice for the voiceless. Today, we are going to discuss very sensitive issues that is affecting Africa and Ghana as a whole. Our environmental challenge and sanitation problem that is facing Ghana. I would like you to amplify the discussion by joining us, stream live our Facebook channel, Foundation for Generational Thinkers, or our YouTube channel, Foundation for Generational Thinkers. Just join the discussion by hashtagging Forget or Generational Voice and post your comments. Okay, so I have with me here one fine gentleman, Michael Akwe. He is the CEO for Rosie Consult. Michael, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And then I also have with me here Mr. Kofi Agbeli. He's the Director of Operation for Forget. You're welcome.
Always my pleasure.
I believe most of us are tired about discussing this issue about sanitation. I know you are also tired about discussing or saying the same thing over and over again. Today we want to give you the voice. We want our voices to be heard concerning the challenge that we are facing in this country. We want to come up with some of the solutions that can help curb the problem or the challenge of sanitation problem and the flooding issue in Ghana. Ona, let me start with you.
Right.
The issue about sanitation, the environmental problem and waste management in Ghana has been a problem for years now. In a country about 30 million people, why is it so difficult for us to find a lasting solution to this problem?
Well, thank you very much. It's a serious problem, just like you noted earlier. Sanitation is with us. When we are talking about sanitation, we are looking at the management or the storage of liquid waste, how you manage it and how you dispose it off. Then we also have the solid waste, where most often they go intertwined. Looking at this rainy season and what we are facing, most often the challenge of the liquid waste, it is as a result of the solid waste that we have disposed of indiscriminately in our community and our various environments. Why are we solving it as a nation of over 30 million people? I would say it's about leadership. When leadership fails, everything fails. When leadership falls, everything falls. And I was reading something on Ghana Web, I think 29th of May, where the minister in charge of Works and Housing, Honorable Samuel Athachia, said Ghana need about 5.6 or so, 5.6 billion US dollars to help solve comprehensively the sanitation needs of the country. So apart from leadership, there is also the issue about funding. Then the third one is about the attitude of the Ghanaian citizens. Everything rises and falls on leadership, but everything also rises and falls on the attitude of the people.
Okay.
Someone says attitude is everything.
Okay.
So the attitude demonstrates our lifestyle, our thinking, our way of behavior and everything. Why would somebody drink water and just throw the sachet water into the environment, or let's say put it into the gutter? It is the attitude, the way of life of the person. The person has found such a thing as a normal way of living.
Okay.
So it has become a challenge.
Okay.
And the only way we can solve it is when leadership rises.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Agbeli. Mr. Agbeli, why does it seem so difficult for us as a nation? Because this thing is not yesterday's problem. We've been there ages, and every year we go and come back and talk about the same thing.
Fortunately, the sanitation issue in this country has become a generational problem. And, from a lot of angles, you could see that in Ghana, to say we do not understand the magnitude of the problem. because that's why the owner talk about somebody drinking pure water from a sachet and just throwing the rubber on the ground or dumping it inside the gutter. Because we don't understand the magnitude of the problem, we live by it. Because when we understood what it means to have this menace with us, how much it affects our lives, then we try to find a solution to it. But the fact that we do not understand the problem, then we just live by it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Let me ask, Ona, there has been a discussion. A lot of people are suggesting, or they are saying that plastic is a kind of a dominant waste in the country. And there seems to be suggesting that the only solution is to ban plastic from Ghana. What do you think about this? Is banning plastics really going to be the solution to curb the sanitation or the waste management problem we have in our country?
No, Mr. Apache, I would say I'll be very delighted when plastic is banned. But when plastic is banned, it is also going to create a major problem. When you look at the Ghana sphere in terms of the manufacturing sphere, you could see that manufacturing, especially in the plastic-related field, they accounted to a huge number of the industries in this country, and they are employing a huge number of citizens. Now we are in a country where we are crying of unemployment. Okay. The moment you ban plastic completely, you are going to create another problem, which is a huge unemployment in the system.
Okay.
The ban of plastic is very, I think, is the wind that is blowing. Since when Rwanda announced the banning of plastic, many countries are voicing out in terms of coming in to do something, and some people are suggesting the alternative materials that can be used instead of plastic and all those things. It is a good thing. I think I read today on one of the websites when the acting director of EPA was saying that it will be very difficult to ban plastic in our country today. He was talking to agricultural folks around Thema, and he was making the case, especially when you look at the quantum of plastic that goes into the oceans.
Okay.
So it means something must be done. But to do it, I think we have to look at adding policies being in place to ensure that all plastic in this country become biodegradable.
Okay.
Plastic takes years for it to be disintegrated. But from my little research, there are things that can be done about plastic to make it biodegradable, that within a short period of time after its usage, it become degraded. So I think that is where we should be looking at, so that it will reduce the number of plastic in the system. When it is used, it should be disintegrated quickly so that it can reduce. I think banning it is a way to go, but it also creates a problem. So we have to do analysis of the opportunity cost and know the angle that will help us most. And please, to talk about this, the issue about banning plastic is about the enforcement of laws. I believe that when laws are properly enforced in this country, there wouldn't be any need to ban plastic. For instance, after using plastic items and all these things, where do you dump your waste?
I will come back to that. I'll come back to that. I'll come back. Thank you so much. I remember some years ago, I think the very first time this issue about banning plastics became very strong in this country. The issue about biodegradable mechanism being introduced to the plastic and was discussed, and I think producers were even forced to include it in their production and even label their products if it contains biodegradable mechanism. But let me come to you, Mr. Agbeli. We've seen people, during rainy season or when it's raining, bring out bunch of rubbish containers and just to pour it in the water, the flowing water, for the rain to carry it away. This is a country we live in where these things are happening. Do you think that banning plastic will prevent or stop this particular or this attitude from going on in our country? Because these are some of the things that is creating the flooding issue.
The issue of people throwing plenty of their waste into the gutters when it's raining is a big challenge. And that's why I say in the beginning that, you know, people are not aware of the magnitude of the problems that we face through this mismanagement of our waste. So if they continue to be aware, that is going to continue. But now the ball is that, or what we have to do is that we educate these people. The whole nation or the whole of our populace have to be educated on the fact that it's not all the waste that we generate from our house or in our society is let's say waste or is spoil. You know, we can generate some worth from that waste. For example, the polythene bags that house the pure waters that we drink. Those polythene bags, they can be collected and then resent to what? To a recycling plant, so that something good, something usable could be made of that thing. Something like sandals or bucket or plastic chairs could be made of a recycled pure water bag.
Okay.
So the more people continue to be, you know, ignorant of the problem, the more it will continue. So I think it's time we start educating the population on the value. We have to bring out the value in waste. Waste is not just waste. Waste has value. Okay, so let's just teach the whole population of, you know, Ghana that waste is now worth, so that people can begin to keep the waste and then dispose it off properly. Because if you go to, you know, other nations, not only in the West, but, you know, in a lot of nations, even in South America, Bolivia, people are building houses out of empty bottles. They will only take empty bottles, fill it with mud or clay, and then they line it together on each other and then fill the in-between spaces, and they build a very nice house out of it.
Okay.
You see, so all these kind of things can be adopted over here too. So we have to educate our population that waste has worth.
Okay. Thank you very much. Viewers, you can share your ideas with us. Go to our Facebook page, hashtag Generational Voice, hashtag Foundation for Generational Thinkers, and post your comment. Remember, leaders are listening to you. They want your voice, and you can also contribute your quota to the solutions that we are looking for.